Good morning, Order. I'm Corey. I want to talk about villains for a second. Villains in our RPGs, they're very important things. And me and James, we had a conversation about a week ago or so where he said the best villains were villains that thought of themselves as a hero. And I've heard this before. I've heard this from a lot of different sources. Very great writers have said this. But I want to challenge this assumption. I think that there are great villains that are not heroes, that never thought of themselves as heroes. Now, the order of videos are short little vlog posts. They're not supposed to be these huge in-depth looks at anything. So I'm going to keep this a little simple. So we're going to go with one archetype. I don't think I'm going to explore it fully, but I'm going to give you a pretty good overview, stuff to help get your creative juices going and perhaps create some really great villains. So the archetype I want to go after today is the Irredeemable. The Irredeemable is someone who either has done something terrible and feels that their life is now ruined because of it, or someone whose very existence is evil in of itself. So what is somebody whose very existence is evil? We're talking about demons, we're talking about vampires, we're talking about being a monster physically. There are great stories about these characters becoming heroes and working towards redemption, being more than just a vampire. But in many cases, and when we look at villains, these people lean in to their monsterness. They can be conflicted about it. Look at Marvel Zombies, where these characters are still trying to be heroes, but they cannot help but be also monsters. And eventually, their monsterdom wins out. Now, I think this is the least interesting of the two versions. The second version is somebody who's done something that is irredeemable, that taints their very soul. Now, in the world we see today, it's structured a lot by the Christian view of forgiveness, that anybody can be forgiven, that anybody can turn their life around. But this was not always the case. Look at old Greek myths where somebody does something so terrible that they're transformed by it or they're killed for it. This happens with women a lot, especially because this is either metaphorically or literally tied to virginity and purity. There are stories of Artemis killing her own priestesses because they were no longer a virgin and therefore irrevocably tainted and bad because of it. So how do we pull this over into villainy? First, a tainted character has nothing to lose and everything to gain by their own villainy. No one is going to give them help. No one is going to give them forgiveness. So they have to take what they need from the world. And if that means making deals with demons, undead, dark gods, creating a goblin army, however they need to do it, they will get that power. A lot of this stems from them feeling powerless and taking that power back for themselves. How dare heaven, how dare society take their power away from them through a simple act or even through no fault of their own? They'll show everyone that they are the masters of their destiny. And it doesn't matter how they get it. They know full well what they are doing is considered evil. But that's not their concern. Their concern lies here with themselves, with their identity. And that will hopefully make a great villain. Whew. I love this topic. I'd like to do more little villain things. Make a suggestion on your favorite villain archetype in the comments below. And remember, never stop gaining experience.